Pete, first of all, great to see you here at Asmir's Golf Day. What's your golf like?
Thank you. The golf is all right. Off 6, up and downs, of course. Some days I look like a scratch. Some days I look like a 20 handicapper. So, but I'm trying in my golf course. You know, if you know a golf course, it's easy to know your way around there. So it's 6. Yeah.
And good to support Asmir and his charity as well as foundation.
Yeah, of course. It's so important these days. Sports facilities, not in general. Even myself, I'm trying to build something in my own house, even inside, to give the kids more chance to do any type of sports, tennis, basketball, kicking the ball around, to keep them away from the TV and the iPads. It's good, but to a limit, of course. Growing up healthy, with interest in sports from early days, that's how you attract kids to sports, and then they stay in it. It's a different life. It teaches you discipline and all of that. It's very important, and especially if it's in areas that it's really needed, poor areas anywhere, be it UK, Bosnia, Nigeria, anywhere. So hopefully one day I will be able to do something like that myself, but I'm starting from trying to do something within my own house because I have 3 kids, and I see already at the age of 5, 6 that this is so important to get them into sports.
Where's your football career at the moment? Is it you still?
No, I'm retired.
You're now retired,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm retired, yeah.
A long time retired.
No,
I
haven't played for a year.
Yeah, I'm saying you are a long time retired when you retire. I know you were still up till recently trying to get back into the game.
Yes. There was nearly 2 months ago. There was a chance in Asia. I played in Indonesia 2 years ago, a whole season. It was great, full stadiums. Myself, Michael Essien, Carlton Cole, Guthrie, few names who've played on good level before. So Sissoko Momo was there as well. This year there are a few more. The league is growing up. I enjoyed that last season. Scored 15, probably most good-looking goals of my career even. So missing it, but I'm 38 this summer. I have to accept the fact it's not forever, and I'm grateful for the career I've had. Few good period spells in my life where I made the fans happy. So World Cups, Olympic Games, AFCONs, Premier League, French League, Champions League. There's a lot to be happy about. So now on to the next chapter. Maybe get some indication into my head from this summer, and start the coaching route a little bit, because I've traveled around the world. I know a few languages, so love the game still, and we'll see if there is a coach in me. But the only way to find out is to try. So I love working with kids as well, knowing my own journey, how many academies I've went through all my life, changing countries. So there's a bit of experience in seeing and recognizing people and talents that will actually make it in the future. I think that's one thing that I can say. I've changed so many academies even as a kid, and I could see that it's not always just the talented guys that end up making it. The mental side is so important these days. So, yeah, hopefully that will help me scout a few talents and guide them and direct them to making sure they do use their potential to make a good career.
Obviously, Asmir from Stoke, who I was amazed didn't make the playoffs or get promoted. But West Brom and a lot of your former clubs did.
Yeah.
But they're 2-1 down going into the second leg at the Hawthorns on tomorrow. How do you see that game going against Villa?
Unfortunately, Gael won't play in the game. It's a loss for them, but there are still some good guys. The right formation at the Hawthorns. West Brom plays really well, especially in that fixture. I have memories of beating Villa there on occasions. So I think they played well. One thing I said to my baggy friends on the day was, there is more Premier League experience, there is more quality big players in the West Brom side, although people think Villa were the favourites. But I said, on this time, experience, proper, quality player will make a difference. And things look good for West Brom. They have more mature squad, players who've done it in the Premier League before, and this is the occasion. So, yeah, it was a spell where they conceded 2 goals, but 2-1 away, it's fine. More than capable, and the players are still there. And as I just mentioned, they have bigger players in West Brom squad, and now on the return leg, that's when it will show.
But no Dwight Gale, no Hal Robson, Kanu. I guess Jay Rodriguez is the main man now to go and get the goals.
And he absolutely has all the qualities. If it will be his day, because sometimes, it's just your day. Like I've played in many derbies, and sometimes, like the hat-trick I scored against Wolves, I went out there, I just feel like it's my day. So if he goes out and that day things just go for him, he may as well get a hat-trick even in that game, because he can finish, he's skillful, on a good day. He's a top Premier League player. We all remember things he's done in Premier League. So it's time now, as I said, formation could be key. Choose the right formation and get the job done. They defended well in the first game. Okay, a couple mistakes, but penalty. But in general, I think it was a good performance and a good result, and they have a good chance.
And finally, Stoke. I mean, Nathan Jones is a good manager. He got Luton promoted from League 2 to League 1 and set the foundations for what was another promotion. Do you back him next year, or do you think this job might be too big for him? I mean, or does he need a lot of money in the summer?
He will need some money, but I think it will be a bit of a miracle if he does something great so quick. Because I speak with people in the club, they love him, they're all happy about the fact that he's there, they're very excited, they see something in him. I haven't been in his surroundings, I don't really know details, but from what I know, there is a buzz in the club about him, so he must have a great personality, he must be very hardworking, and of course also open to listen to everyone at the ground. So seems like everyone's happy with him. There were good results, few bad results, but it's his first big job. He's also learning, but I think there is a chance that things can go well, but it depends on, of course, what they do in the summer, if they lose players and who they'll get.
AP, great to see you here today. And how's the golf going these days?
The golf is going all right. Well, 2 weeks ago I thought I was Tiger Woods. Unfortunately, I played during the Punchestown Festival the week afterwards. I actually played in a Dare Manor with JP McManus and actually Robbie Keane. And you thought I never played golf in my life before. So it's a very frustrating game, and that's for sure.
It's good to see you here today at Asmir's Golf Day.
Yeah, it's nice to be invited. This Burhill's a lovely golf club. I'm sure the weather's great in it. And as I'm not quite as busy as I used to be, I've got no excuse not to be here, really.
Most sports must be to retire very shortly afterwards, to come out of retirement and think, I'm so bored and what have you. You've never thought about that, have you? Once you hung up your...
About coming out of retirement?
Yeah.
No, I don't think about it. I think about it most days. So about coming out of retirement. But it's not going to happen. Thought about it during Punchestown on the Friday when Boo Videre was running. Mark Walsh sadly got injured, and I thought maybe I could ride him. But I think about it quite a lot, but it's not happening, 40, look, it's very hard. Once you get into your 40s as a jump jockey, it's very hard, So it's not like any other sports. And, I say there's, it's the only thing that 2 ambulances follow you around going to work every day. And the reality of it is the better you are, the more you're going in it. So you just have to accept that I had my time. I was very lucky to have it as well, and I'll enjoy it,
You're excellent as a pundit. Were you surprised that we saw Ruby Walsh and Noel Feely and jockeys of that calibre decide to follow you into retirement this year?
Well, as I said, it's just hard once you get into your 40s. Those lads will know that when you get falls, it doesn't. You don't repair as quick, and you just worry about not. They're probably a bit like me. They worry about not being as good as they were before. And it's not worrying what people will think of you. It's about what you think of yourself. Ruby had plenty of bad injuries. Look, he proved in Aintree and in Punchestown that he was riding as well as he ever did. But he just thought the time was right. And the same with Noel Feely. Noel Feely was probably a later starter to be as successful as he was, but more successful later in his career than he was younger days. He was. Luckily for me and a few others, he was a bit of a late find. He was, and didn't get going till late in life. But brilliant jockey, both of them, and they're a big loss for racing.
Certainly not a big loss for racing. A plus for racing is Tiger Roll. Next year, do you expect him to go for a third Grand National win? And if he does, would that make him a better horse or put him on a par with Red Rum?
No, it won't put him. It'll never put him on a par with Red Rum. The Grand National is a totally different horse race than it was. The Grand National is a totally different horse race now than it was 5 years ago. Never mind, 45 years ago, whatever it was. it was a brilliant feat winning back-to-back Grand Nationals. It was brilliant for the race. It was brilliant for the sport. What I put it in a par with, I don't put it in a par with Red Rome winning 2 Grand Nationals, just because it's just because of the difference in the type of the race that it is. But it was brilliant for the horse racing, and look, it'd be nice to see him going back to try and win a 3rd, but it won't be a Red Rome job.
No, I mean the fences were tougher, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, look, I remember, I think the year that Red Marauder won.
3 of you finished.
Well, I think there was 5 of us going out in the second circuit. There was 37 going out in the second circuit this year in the Grand National. So, look, the way the world has changed, the way that we've let the world change, that's just things are different now, aren't they?
Talking world's changing, Arsenal's world has changed.
Has it?
Hasn't it?
No, it has. To be fair, look, they played very well during the week, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Would a Europa League win just paper over the cracks?
Yeah, look, it would be great to win, obviously, the Europa League, but the 2 lads up front, it's a team game, But at the moment, it looks like there's 2 outstanding footballers in the team, and the rest are tagging along, and that's not being disrespectful to them. That's just what statistics say and what everyone else thinks. You can't have a golden boot winner or a joint golden boot winner and not be competitive. So what does that tell you about the rest of them?
Absolutely. I mean, if they don't make it into the Champions League by winning Europa League, do you think they'll stay? Lacazette and Aubameyang.
I think they will, because I think the club actually, as a whole, I think the structure of the club has got it so badly wrong in the last 6 or 8 years, with the likes of Mesut Ozil getting the contract he has and Aaron Ramsey going off on a free to Juventus. I mean, that's the structure is not right there at the moment, and they can't afford to let the best 2 assets they've got go.
And finally, to use a horse racing term, I mean, they're miles behind, aren't they? They're not even in the picture in terms of the race for the title. The clubs like Arsenal, does that hurt you?
Yeah, it does, but look, you've got to take your hats off to the 2 teams like Man City and Liverpool have been so far ahead of all the rest, and you got to feel sorry for Liverpool to get 97 points and not win the Premier League. But again, you got to take your hat off to the brilliance of Man City, to win a Premier League, with that amount of points and beat a team that can get 97 points. That takes some doing. So it just shows you. Look, the worrying thing is I've got a little lad who's 5, and I've made him kind of support Arsenal. And the reality of it is, he and those Man United and Chelsea fans, they might not see a Premier League win for their clubs for the next 15 years. And that's the reality of it, because that's how far I think they are behind the 2 at the top.
Well, first of all, what a top season for Palace. I mean, 49 points in the end, and some really good football along the way, especially away from home.
Yeah, definitely. I think our away form was fantastic, and we tried to replicate that at home. It was obviously nice yesterday, finishing on a high at home, giving the fans what they deserve in a home victory, and to finish the season off really well. And I think throughout the season, like you said, we played some great football, and at times been unlucky not to pick up more results, which would have put us in a even better position.
And also, you look at the club as a whole. 2 seasons in a row now where under Roy it's been really steady stuff, but good to watch. And I think Palace fans will be encouraged going forward if there's investment in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. I think things will hopefully only go up, and I think, like you said, if there's that injection and that investment, then there's no reason why we can't be pushing and looking up above us. We've seen it for other teams this season, but I think our quality that we've got in the changing room and going forward, as well as at the back, we've got a lot of strength and depth, and young talent as well that's coming through.
You mentioned at the back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was your player of the year. I think everybody who didn't see him at the back end of last season would have been impressed with what he's done this time round.
Well, he's been phenomenal. As to come in and do what he's done, he's like a seasoned pro already. He's not like a young lad who's come in a little bit nervy here and there. He's made the position It's fantastic what he's done. Back end of the season coming in and then to do what he's done this season, he deserves the accolades.
Would your advice to him be, if you was to ask you, stay, play at Palace, because he's been linked with moves away, and you never know whether you're going to play. You go to a big team, you may not play every week, but at Palace, he plays every week.
Obviously, it's all depends on what he wants to do and where he's got his sights. But there's nothing for me personally. There's nothing like playing football. Being on the pitch week in, week out is what I've loved over my career so far, and hopefully that will continue. And for him, I think he needs to continue to learn his trade, continue to develop, continue to improve, and I think the world's his oyster if he continues to do that.
Palace mid-table. What have you made of the Premier League as a whole? I mean, City and Liverpool obviously dominating the headlines today off the back of their battle for the title. But when you look at it, there's a cluster of clubs from Wolves, I would argue, down to you in Newcastle, who next season could be thinking, you know what, we could get maybe 7th or 8th, or even if United and Chelsea don't do well next season, 6th.
I think the league's getting stronger and stronger. Apart from City and Liverpool, who, by all rights, are way out there. I don't think I've seen that before in the way in which they've played. They haven't put a foot wrong, either team. They've been phenomenal and formidable opponents to play against. And I think that like you say, in that group is only getting stronger as well. With, I think, the Premier League money and the TV money and the investment into the clubs. Is
that good for the game? Because we could end up with like having Germany, where it's Bayern Munich and maybe one other, or Scotland.
I don't think. I think everyone's going to be chasing for that. I think the big clubs are always going to be chasing for that top 4 because of the prizes of that and the recognition of that, and even the Europa League as well. People want to be stepping into that, and I think the clubs who are just outside that want to be looking to push on. Wolves have done incredibly well this season, coming up and doing what they've done, but there's no reason why we can't go and do it, or the Watfords or obviously Leicester have done what they've done, but there's a gap definitely, and teams are going to be looking to exploit it.
Finally, I want to talk about one of your former clubs, Pompey. We've got the second leg on TalkSport 2 of their playoff with Sunderland. They're a goal down, but Kenny Jackett's done marvellously this year.
Yeah, it's been great to see them kind of on the rise and on the up. I've followed it from a distance and what have you, but it's definitely not over yet. When they go play that second leg, for one, the fans are going to be behind them regardless of what happens, but that could be the injection they need to lift them and get them across the line into the final.
It would be nice to see them back, wouldn't it? I mean, they've had some tough times.
Yeah, obviously they've had some tough times, but it would be incredible, and it would be a great story to see it and to tell of them on their rise again. And I think they're a club that deserve it. The fans definitely deserve it, and I think everything that it's gone through, it only deserves to continue to climb and continue to move up the leagues.
And finally, we're here today for Asmir's Golf Day. What's your handicap?
11 today. But it could change off the first tee. We shall see. No, it's a great occasion to be here. Unfortunately, I missed last year with going away, but today's a special occasion, and I'm pleased that I can be here to support and help out with Asmir's Foundation. I've
known a couple of footballers in the past, Julian Dix, Gary O'Neill, who you'll know very well, who wanted to be professional golfers. Or get on the golfing circuit when they finish playing. Any aspirations for that?
I think I'm a long way off from that. I think you're probably
the best at Palace.
No, I'm not the best, but we have a good knock around and we enjoy it. The lads getting out and playing and what have you when we can. It's obviously difficult at times in the season, and you've got to obviously watch your body, but we enjoy getting out, and there's nothing quite like being out with the lads and being on the golf course and being out in nature, really.
Enjoy today.
Thank you very much.
Mark, first of all, what are you up to these days?
We're playing a bit of golf, like today. Just trying to support Asmir Begovic's foundation today. So I missed out last year, so I'm able to make it this year. So pleased to be here.
It's been a while since we saw you in football. Are you biding your time to get back in?
Well, yeah, I'm probably mindful of maybe coming back too soon. Probably the break I'm having now is what maybe I should have done when I left Stoke after 5 seasons or so, and obviously I had the opportunity to go in at Southampton, which I didn't want to miss out on, but probably the break I'm having now is what I should have had after Stoke.
You kept Southampton up, and then obviously parted company with the club, and the same thing's happened today with Chris Hughton. He kept Brighton up and has parted company with the club. From the outside, it seems a very harsh business you're in.
Yeah, it's not going to change anytime soon, is it? Because the demands and the expectations are always there, and I think sometimes maybe owners get a little bit excited or demand more than maybe the club that you're at is capable of at that time. So it's upsetting. Clearly, you've got to get results on the board, and if you don't, then you're at risk, which clearly happened to myself and has done on a number of occasions. But it was a surprise to hear Chris go, I have to say. I thought he'd done a great job over the period he's been at Brighton, and I think a lot of people will be scratching their head about that one.
Of course, the other club you're most still on is with Manchester United. It's been a terrible season, and the result on the final day against Cardiff was one that I don't think many saw coming. Were they right to appoint Ollie?
Yeah, I think so. I think Ollie has gone in there, and he'll be the first to admit that it's a fantastic opportunity for him, and he went in and had an immediate impact, which he needed to do, I think, given his position, because he wasn't secure, but he did enough to get the job on a permanent basis. And now he knows what's ahead of him. It's going to be a difficult task, because the demands of a club like Manchester United are huge, and you have to accept that and work with that. But clearly this year hasn't been acceptable in terms of results, and I think you look at the top 2 teams, Man City and Liverpool, the streets ahead at the moment, and that shouldn't be the case when you're talking about a club of the size and stature of Man United. There's something like 30 points behind.
How many years behind do you think they are? I mean, in terms of when we can realistically see them challenge again?
Well, I think recruitment, as always, has to be right, and maybe they've made mistakes in the past, and I think they haven't addressed the ills of the team. I think you need to go into the market and you have to pay top dollar. They have done on some occasions, and chase players that maybe haven't worked out for them, and paid big money, so maybe they've got their fingers burned somewhat, but they need to get that right this year, clearly. If they do that, then they'll feature again. But you have to say the sides ahead of them now, notwithstanding the top 2, the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham will regroup again, and they'll be even harder to get past next year again.
Have they ever really got past Fergie leaving?
It does seem like it's been a big hurdle. Everybody knew it would be, because once Sir Alex left and his presence and his demand that he placed on players and staff, once that was taken out of the club, then of course there was going to be a transition period. I just think maybe people thought it wouldn't be as long as this, but everything goes round in cycles. United broke the cycle at Liverpool, Chelsea came to the fore, Arsenal have won a few Premier Leagues, but now it seems that it's back to Liverpool and Man City again.
Finally, it looks like there needs to be a clear out at United. Would you be as brash to say that someone like a Pogba needs to stay, or maybe even he needs to go as well?
Well, there's always churn at the end of the season, so clearly players will leave. The personalities we're not sure of, who figures in all these plans for the future, and I think everybody will look with interest to see what they do and which way they go, because clearly they need just to change things around and just get back to a mentality and an attitude to the game that maybe has been missing in recent weeks.
Enjoy your golf, and hope to see you back in the Premier League soon as well, my friend.
I appreciate that. Good seeing you again, mate.